All right, we are recording, and I would like to have you both give me your names and your birth dates, a year of your birthday.
Not your actual birthday, just your year.
Your year.
All right, my name is Barbara Marks, and I am 100 years old now.
How about
My birthday was June 4th, 1925.
That's marvelous. Wow, and you look so good.
And I expect to have a few more good years.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Very important.
And I'm Nancy Marks, and I was born in 1954.
Oh my goodness, a year before I was married. Now, the next question is, were you born here in Newbury? And if not, where were you born?
I was born in Claremont, New Hampshire, and I'll tell you why. We lived in New York, but I was the second child, and my mother was very concerned about what would happen to my sister, because in those days they stayed in the hospital about two weeks to have a baby, and she had 3 sisters younger than she was in Claremont, so she figured they would take care of my sister, and they brought her to the hospital every day, and she was on the ground floor in what was the hospital then. I think it might be a nurse's residence now. And so she and my sister could converse and everything, and that was better. And after 10 days, she said to Dr. Brooks, I can't stay here any longer. I have another child to look after. And he said, it will be your responsibility because you're leaving too soon. And he put her in a wheelchair and wheeled her to the hospital door and said, good luck.
Oh my, so different than now, isn't it?
Yeah,
one
very
day.
different.
And where were you married? And where were you born?
I was married in New Hampshire. I was born in Brooklyn, New York.
And when did you first start coming to
I'm sorry.
When did you first start coming to Blodgett?
Well, my parents moved there shortly after they came to this country.
No, Blodgett Landing.
Oh, to Blodgett Landing.
I think in the 30s.
Well, first, the family used to drive to Dewey Beach for the daytime, and there were no lockers, no nothing. My uncles would change in the woods. But my grandmother was a very enterprising lady, and she started buying cheap tenements in Claremont. And then she heard about this house, God knows it probably cost nothing. And so she bought it. It was the first house as you come into Blodgett Landing on Lake Avenue, on
Washington Street.
Washington
Right next
Street.
to Blodgett Lodge.
Really?
The shack. It's called
Really?
Shack Duloc. That was our name, too.
Yeah, we named it. And she bought it because there were 8 children in the family. And they were all living
And your
my
family?
grandmother had
7.
8 children.
Oh, yeah.
No. You're 7 children.
7?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, whatever. And so the family, we used it a lot at the beginning, but the whole family would come over, and they were a very engaging bunch when they were younger. It was like a house party every time they got together, and the house was full, but we didn't notice it. And then we had company there. My sister,
Half a bathroom total.
Oh my.
my sister and her family were there with their 2 children and her husband and my husband and our 2 children and my mother, and we had company. And I don't know where we put them, but we had such a good time.
Did people sleep on the floor?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't know where they slept. But so we were there for a couple of years in the summer, and my mother used to take a little walk every evening. And one evening she came, or one day she came back and she said, you know, the Doubleday house is for sale. We knew what the house was. We ran down there and we bought it that evening.
Wow.
1964.
Oh, wow.
And
moved in
Nancy
65.
knows all the dates. I don't know any of them.
So you were just a little
10. I
girl.
spent my first 10 summers in the shack.
Oh.
It was a blast. Mhm. We had bats.
And then you must have loved the house too.
Yeah. We loved it that when Mr. DiGilio came out of the driveway from Blodgett Lodge, we were the first house he stopped at. He could jump on his truck.
And that would have been Joe, or would that have
Joe,
been? Yeah.
not Dominic, his dad, yeah.
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 So,
No, the father was driving the truck.
Well, maybe when you were a kid. When I was
Yes.
a kid, it was Joe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but it was the father when you.
Oh,
Probably,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we had an Eggman. I don't know who he was. And,
In New Hampshire?
yeah,
had one in New York?
and we
Oh.
had, I don't know, everybody came into the house.
There were 2 stores in Blodgett Landing.
Yes. Now I can remember one of them. Where was the other one?
Well, where's the one you remember?
The one that the Albro boys eventually ran, right there on, well, which street? It's
Well, they were both on Lake Avenue. The
Oh.
Gregoires owned the one just past our house, our shack. Al and Louise Gregoire.
We never went to the other one.
And the other one was Carlson's. He also owned the boathouse before Webb Rogers bought it.
Oh, yeah.
And that one was kind of dark. They all had pinball machines, and it's pretty cool. Al's had soda fountain, and he made burgers, and there were gifts at a little grocery store.
Do you miss the stores? Miss having them
We
there?
did at the beginning, yes. Yes.
And do you miss having the post office there in the?
Yes. Every day the postmistress would go down to the big dock and sit on a rock there, I guess, and all the kids would follow her. And it seems to me she came twice a day to pick up the mail. And there was a fleet of boats, not just one mail boat. And I remember taking, I guess my sister and I took our 2 babies then, and I remember feeding them on the boat out of a jar. And we had a ride around the lake, and the mail got picked up in one of the boats. That was lovely. That was there was
Rogers
something
has
so
changed a
personal
lot,
about
hasn't
it.
it?
Yes,
Yeah,
we missed that.
yeah.
Yeah.
And probably the casino. You weren't happy when that went, were you?
Well, we were brought up very carefully, so we would be in bed at night, and we would hear the music coming from the casino.
I used it. We went to record hops and bingo, and my generation used the casino constantly.
It
Yeah.
was part of our lives. They
It was
had
fun.
plays, and
Oh,
I
yes.
remember they
Lobster
had
dinner.
all those dishes there.
Yeah.
And every evening, everybody would go down to the casino and stand on the porch and watch the sunset, which was gorgeous. And we had a beautiful sunset the other night.
Last night, it was amazing.
Did you see it?
I had a friend send pictures. It was
Unbelievable.
It was the
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
really good sunset. It was a strong orange light.
It was
It was, yeah. We were very excited about that because we're on the
Nancy's.
sunset side of the
There we
lake.
Yep.
go. Okay, thank you. It doesn't want to stay put, does it?
No, it's a little
And while
wobbly.
they're adjusting, Nancy, can you talk about, was it all Blodgett's people at the casino? Were there people that came from elsewhere?
It's just Blodgett's people.
Yeah.
This car would go around Beano at the casino, and then there were record hops, and my cousin's band played there, the Mad Men.
And when I had dinners, I remember.
When people got drunk, they used to throw things off the porch, not just watch the
Yeah.
sunset. There was a lot of glass
I
in the
remember
water.
eating dinner one night. You were a little girl, and somebody poked us and said, "Look at Nancy. You were sitting there, and your elbow was in a plate of melted
It was
butter."
a lobster dinner. We used to have those once a year. There was shuffleboard, and it was cavernous. I don't know if you ever saw it. Oh yeah.
I did. I danced there.
Yeah, yeah. It was a lot of fun. I mean, it had this enormous stage because Will Cressy
Yeah.
wanted to stage real productions there. So
It was
fun.
Really
fun.
too
We
bad
felt
to lose
very
it.
bad when they removed it.
When was it? About 77, 78, maybe?
Yeah,
Yeah,
something like
late
that.
70s. And the inn came down around the same time, I think.
When was Will Cressy there?
Before our time.
Before your time too? Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
It may have even been
Maybe he wasn't.
John
but-
Greenwood would know.
Yeah.
He knows everything. You don't even have to talk to us. Just talk to John, and he'll give you everything.
We wanted to find out how much you felt that Blodgett's
Yeah,
had changed.
I know.
That you still always felt safe letting your kids run loose in Blodgett's, didn't you? It was safe for them to be out.
Oh
you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
We were wandering around when we were little kids, and I didn't wear shoes all summer. Once, by the end of the summer, I had hobbit feet. You know.
But I'll tell you, at the beginning, we didn't swim down at the big dock. We felt it wasn't pure enough.
We did, though.
We went swimming beyond it where the casino had been.
Right. But by the time we were around, we were only swimming at the public dock.
Yeah.
And the Mount Sunapee came in twice a day
Yeah.
at the public dock, which was really fun. And so it was just
Well,
really...
they had a slide and a diving board.
Right, we used to dive the wrong way
Yeah.
off the slide and have fights on the diving board. You know, I mean, it's amazing that nobody was really badly hurt because we used to do
Sheesh.
crazy things.
Did the Mount Sunapee stop there?
Yes, you could pick it up there.
You could pick it up there.
Yeah, I think twice a day. Yeah, when I was a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there
And
was a
you
big
must
sign.
remember
empty
the
Mount Sunapee.
steamships. Don't you
Do you
remember
remember
some
the
of the
steamships?
steamships?
Do you remember the steamships? I think that was even
I
before
don't
your
think
time.
I do.
Just the
Yeah.
mail boats.
Just
think-
a
Well, the
minute.
mail boats had a couple of other boats riding around.
But I don't think this. I think the steamships
Were
predate
before,
even you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when people would come and take out all their luggage and everything.
yeah.
At Newbury,
That
well, yes,
was-
Newbury, they would take
That
the
was
train to
before
Newbury.
our time.
Yeah, I mean the
Yeah.
train went to Newbury, and then all those we remember the Ben Muir Inn and all those giant resorts. People would come to Newbury by train and then take the boats around the lake to these large resorts that are all gone.
And
Yeah.
but then even the steamships all stopped in Blodgett's, even though there wasn't a big resort there.
Right.
But there were a lot
yeah.
of camps, and of course they used to just tent to
Right.
begin
Well,
with.
yeah, the spiritualists. We were actually this morning. My husband and I were wondering. It says Idlehurst Landing. There's the place that was the old steamship landing where Jean Palaco lives, and then there's something called Idlehurst Landing. We couldn't figure out whether that was a separate thing or if that's where the boat stopped, or if it was a different boat company. So we didn't know.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
about
because
that.
that's also in Blodgett Landing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually
Yeah.
wondering that today.
I can't remember whether there was a hotel there.
But the big discussion still goes on. Is it Blodgett Landing
Or
or
Blodgett's Landing. And it's
What do you say?
we
Blodgett
say
people?
Blodgett Landing, and it's so funny because the sign that Kai Sheese made says Blodgett Landing, but it says Blodgett's Landing Road. But I lived in a town where they misspelled the street, and but we call it Blodgett's. I think on that map it says Blodgett's Landing, maybe, or what does it
Well,
say?
If you don't say landing, you can say I'm going to
The
Blodgett's.
Blodgett's
Right.
without
Yes,
an
Blodgett's without an apostrophe.
Blodgett's with an S.
Yeah.
Well, we call it Blodgett Landing.
Yeah.
So, and
think
in fact,
that's
our
right.
address, when Hazel was in the post office, if you wanted mail, it would just be your name, and it would be Blodgett Landing, New Hampshire, no S. That was the official street, mailing address. So, I don't know. What do you say?
Same as you,
Blodgett Landing.
The lake.
I guess, yeah, I
Right.
guess so, yeah,
Yeah.
I guess. But, Because names can have apostrophes or not.
Right.
just as people-
Anyway, we think it's Blodgett Landing, and that was the official mailing address when we were kids.
And you raising children now would be very different from the way you raised your children when you were there, right?
Life was simpler then. That's the only way I can put it. But things change, and all the houses have changed, and the people living them have changed, but it's still Blodgett's.
Yeah.
And either you love it or you hate it.
Right.
And
Most people have
we
sort of
have-
a special feeling about it, and there are a number of families who've been there as long as our family.
Oh, I
has
was
been.
going to ask you how
Yeah.
whether there were anybody else that had been there as long as you
The
had.
Obies have been there as long as we have, or
and
longer.
the Sheeses have been there
About as long, almost as long. And then there's somebody in Idlehurst who's apparently been there longer than we have, but I don't know her name, of the name of that family. There's a few families, and then a bunch of my contemporaries sort of married each other and moved there, like Bob Burnell and Faye Harris. I don't know if you know them. And,
I know the names.
right.
Yeah.
But it's true what my mom says. it's a very special place that the people who've been there a long time feel very attached to, even though it's changed a lot.
Do the new people that come in, do they get attached to Blodgett's the same way you feel or not?
I think it's a mix, but I know 2 doors away, some very dear friends sold their house because they couldn't bear the thought that their daughter, who was Nancy's contemporary.
Oh, my daughter's contemporary, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
your daughter's,
Yeah,
yes.
She had died, and they just didn't want to be there anymore, so they sold their house. But the people who move in seem great. They love it. And
They ask questions. Is this the way that you do this, or should we be doing this or that?
That's
And
nice.
we were very lucky. They live in eastern New Hampshire,
Durham,
right near the coast there. But they're thinking of selling that house and staying there.
The winters here are worse than the east.
I spent a winter there in our house in
You did?
1979. I spent a winter in the house, and at that time, as far as I know, there were only 3 other houses that were occupied in the winter. Dick Butterfield, who had just moved there, the Bourgeois, who lived behind us, and Peter Page, who lived on Lake Avenue. As far as I know, those were the only 3 houses that were occupied year
But
round.
there's a lot more houses now.
Probably 30, right? I mean, yeah. So that was very different. There was nobody there. Jeff Jordan lived on Bowles Road, I guess. It was completely isolated in the winter, and very, very cold. I worked at Yankee Barn Homes for the year. Yeah.
How did you keep warm?
We had heat, but the house is not insulated.
No,
So
yeah.
I just confined myself
Did
to
you
one small part of
Did
the
you use
house.
the fireplace then?
Sometimes.
Yeah, our chimney is unusable now.
Yeah, I
and-
did, but it was very, very quiet. Now there's so many people who've retired there or who just live there, and it's completely different. in the
Yeah,
winter.
there's a fairly young couple on the next block who they live in houses very close to each other, and they tore down what they had and they put up a new house, and they're going to live there all year.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
So that's changed.
A lot.
Now, the house right next to Peter Page's is for sale, isn't it? Wayne Wheeler's
Which
little
one?
beat-up cottage.
Oh, it is?
I think it is.
Oh, I didn't know. The Sunset View is for sale, and that's been unoccupied as long as I remember.
Oh, really?
The one behind the lands. Sunset View that's the one with all the trees in front of it next.
Oh yeah,
That one, I don't remember anyone ever living in it.
I think they live there, but they're stranded.
Not now. No, we don't know anything about it, but
I don't know.
that house has been empty for a long, long time. Yeah, it's different. So many of the houses are torn down and put up, and there's not a lot of space. The plots are 35 feet wide or something because of the tents. The other thing about Blodgett Landing is every single property line is skewed, and so that if you have a survey done, which we did a few years ago, half of our neighbors' lawn is on our property and half of our path is on their property, and in the past, I mean, that's just
We
because it was
even discovered when we lived in the shack that our kitchen belonged to the people next door.
yeah, so all the surveying is completely messed up.
And I suppose, what would they use for points to survey, really?
Right,
I mean, so many feet from such and such.
right. A tree that's no longer there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and most of the pine trees, we have a teeny weeny few feet of the old boardwalk in front of our house.
Oh, I'd forgotten that.
Yeah, there was a boardwalk along the whole thing. We have this much with a little iron rail, and we have one of the old pine trees because it was completely lined with pine
Yeah.
trees.
Yes,
and-
we remember that.
Yeah.
And every evening, I guess people would walk the length of Lake Avenue.
Right, but by the time I was born, that boardwalk didn't exist. Did it exist when you were a kid?
No, our parking area in the front, which was part of the walk, became a flower garden of Mrs. What was her name?
Oh, no, but I'm talking about when you were a kid. Did the boardwalk still exist?
Oh yes,
Wow, was it continuous?
I
Pretty
think
much.
so.
Wow, that's pretty
much.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a beautiful place to walk.
Yeah,
You know, what a view.
the view is great.
Yeah.
I said to Nancy recently, I don't get bored just sitting sitting and looking at the lake and the houses opposite it. I just sit and look and look and look, and it's never boring.
No.
Almost always something going on Lake
Well,
Sunday.
not as many boats as we used to see.
Yeah, not as
Yeah.
many
Not as many
motorboats.
water skiers as we used to
Oh,
see.
no.
Jet skis now, and
Yeah.
wake boats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, the wake boats are causing
But
problems.
it's
kidding.
been very
Sure.
quiet. It's been
Yeah.
very quiet because I think the wives are working now. The children, her age, and the younger ones are all grown up. They can't spend
We're
summer.
retired. We're not just
Yeah.
grown up.
So there's nobody around all day long.
Yeah.
That's the
Do
difference.
you
I
see
like-
some more on the weekends?
Yes, but it's not
Not
as much
that-
as it used to be.
not
It used to
as
be
much.
No.
wild on weekends. There's still
Yeah.
some loud parties and stuff, but it feels quieter. The other thing is, when I was a kid, we had just gangs of roving kids every night, and gangs of roving teenagers, and I don't see so much of that anymore. And
No.
Louise Gregoire used to kick us off the wall of her store, and we would just, gather. I mean, everyone sort of as if by some bat signal, would gather after dinner and just start roaming the streets. Occasionally, if we were adventurous, we'd roam
But you
up
didn't
Bowles
get into
Road.
mischief?
No,
She's not gonna stay in front of her mother.
yeah, not much. No, I really didn't get into much. There was a little mischief.
Yeah.
Kids would,
I'm sure.
yeah. I mean, you did everyone did. Who doesn't?
So you were always summer people.
We were always summer people except for my one winter there. Yeah.
And did you come and spend the whole summer?
Yes.
So I think that's the difference, right? Because I also
Right.
was that kind of, where the mom would come up with the kids and spend the whole summer.
And the fathers
And the
would come up
father
on
would come
weekends.
up on
Weekends.
My father used to drive up from New York every weekend, and before Route 91,
Yep.
it took him about 7 hours. Yeah. Are you a Blodgett Landing
I'm in
person?
South Newbury,
Oh, okay.
person, but we had the same thing with
Yeah.
gangs of kids, but you don't see it anymore because now people come up just on weekends
With their
and they bring their friends and they don't, so the
Right.
kids don't do that same
right.
thing.
We were there all the time instead of camp. And actually, the Cottage Owners Association occasionally. Some years when I was a little kid, they had little arts and crafts things. They had swimming lessons once or twice.
Oh, we had a
The
couple of
beauty
wonderful
pageant.
years
Yeah.
for the children.
Yeah.
And someone
Counselor,
else mentioned
actually a
the
resident
parade.
counselor.
Well, they still have that.
Oh, they do.
They still have Blodgett. Well, Kara Obi. Do you know Kara?
Yes.
Kara Obi, who is president for life, or should be, of the Cottage Owners Association, really keeps that spirit alive. And so there's a Blodgett Landing Day, and there's races and potlucks and the parade, the costume parade, and the old cars and the fire engine, and it's not as big as it used to be,
No.
but it's
We used to be up all night making costumes.
oh my God, we
for the
won one year.
children.
We were cavemen. And we had like little leopard skin. I was so young. I had a little leopard skin diaper, and yarn wigs and rubber spears. And
Yeah.
Johnny Sullivan always won a prize because he had the fantastic costumes.
Yeah.
Did you ever know the Indian couple that used to make the baskets?
Oh, well, I didn't know they made baskets, but I can
We knew Stevie
show you
Luco.
the
They were
house where they
Wabanaki.
lived.
Abenaki. Yeah.
I know, what was his name?
The Watso, sure. Louis Watso
Louis
was he
Watso
was a
and his wife.
policeman,
You
I
know
think.
them?
Yes, I remember
Yeah.
them.
Oh,
And I think
Yeah.
Stevie Luco was a descendant of theirs. He was my contemporary, and yeah, we knew that. We didn't know about the baskets though.
No, I wish I had.
And the fellow that owns the cottage right next to Peter Page's saw him go out in a handmade canoe one time.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Which side? Which side? If you're facing Peter, to the left or
It's
the
the
right?
dilapidated one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never seen it. I've never seen him. They did raise the foundation a number of years ago, but yeah.
He used to be there frequently in the
Yeah.
summer, but he's in a nursing home.
Okay. Peter. You mean Peter? Well, Peter sold. Oh, the person in that house.
Peter is?
Peter's in. Peter may have.
He's in a nursing home.
Oh yeah, in George's Mills. He has been for years. If he's still there, even.
Oh.
Yeah. That's why they just sold his house.
Who?
Peter Page's house just sold. And they're
Yeah,
doing a lot of. They're
Finally,
completely
finally
renovating it.
sold.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
It's big.
So lots of changes.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
we remember. I used to know who lived in every house in Blodgett Landing, literally.
Yeah.
Maybe a few not on Pine Street. I knew every house who lived there, and no more.
Now, how many do you know?
I don't know, a couple dozen.
Half, maybe?
No, no. I mean, I know a lot by sight, but
Yeah.
it's just really different. I don't know. We were just closer, more enmeshed. Everybody knew. I mean, also with the kids, all the kids hung out, and we were there all summer, and so it was more intimate. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a smaller,
Yeah.
smaller
There
group.
there was some anti-Semitism. We're Jewish, and there definitely was some of that, and that wasn't so great.
Yeah, because your family owned your
Izerskis.
family owned the hardware store in Claremont, right?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
my grandfather
He
did.
bought a stove
More
there.
about the anti-Semitism?
Sure. So there was one other Jewish family in Blodgett Landing, and they were really, really obnoxious. And so people would either say, "Oh, you're not like them," or I'd be sort of.
Well, my
Yeah.
husband said if you're going to be friendly
Don't
with
use
her,
the name. Don't say the name. Yeah, if you're gonna be friendly with her, what did he say?
he said if you're going to be friendly with her, I'm not going to come up.
Yeah. So that was bad because it's
Yes,
sort of.
more anti-Semitism.
No. But I mean, one time someone took me water skiing and I fell a couple times, and the guy said, "What do you think this is, a Jewish holiday?" So it was there under the surface, and so
Well,
and that was
there were some girls from the next street over who used
when you were a kid.
spick older than we were. And, in the evening you sit on the steps of your house after you've done your walk, etc. And a group of about 3 of them used to walk by every evening. As they walked by, they would he, just
So that was
very obvious.
Oh
But,
my.
My mother went to the University of New Hampshire, so she knew about that. Yeah. So that was that, but that was definitely there.
Oh, my
But
word. But there were a lot of Jewish people around the lake. I mean,
Not in Blodgett Landing.
no, not in Blodgett Landing.
No.
Pine Cliff, of course.
I don't know. Just that, and I'm sure Blodgett Lodge was restricted.
Oh,
yeah.
please.
And a lot of all the
Yeah,
hotels,
we
a lot of
would
the
hear-
hotels.
We
next
would hear
to-
conversations
Yeah.
next door. From,
But it was sort of unfortunate that the other Jewish family was really.
Well, they came later, actually.
I know, but
Yeah.
they embodied some of the worst stereotypes, and that just hurt us too. In some
They
ways.
came with the Obies. They were very friendly with
Oh,
them.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you practicing?
No.
No, okay, so it
We-
wasn't like you had to find somewhere to go.
Oh no. We're a family of non-practicers. Yeah.
But we are what we are.
It's cultural and historical, and it's important. It's an important part of our identity. But in Blodgett Landing, it was kind of a misfit, But
Oh, that's a shame. I never even knew it.
you wouldn't.
Well, when my grandfather moved to Claremont, my mother was the only Jewish girl in Stevens High School.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But she had. Then when they came, they didn't have much money, but they had some, and she was the oldest child, so there was responsibility there. And actually, at one point, my grandfather decided that she was so good in the store because she could speak Russian, and the Russian and the Polish languages were pretty similar. So he said, "I need you more than you need to be in high school," because he came from a generation where the males got all the education.
Yeah.
And so she was taken out of high school, and she was miserable. And shortly after, 2 of her favorite teachers came down to the store, and they said to my grandfather, "You can't do this to her. She's too bright." So they sat down and they figured out a program where she could spend part of her time in the store and part of her time in school. And at graduation time, everybody came up and congratulated him. And my mother said he came home and he said to Grandma, who was with the other children, "I never knew.
Yeah.
I never knew
Oh.
how smart she was or anything else."
Oh, isn't that wonderful that the teachers
Yeah.
Oh,
went
yes.
to bat for her?
He sent them all to college. He sent.
No, but she had to quit to come work. Anyway, we're digressing from Newbury
Yes,
history.
yeah.
Well, but
Sorry.
that's okay. It's part of the history, the family
Yeah.
history.
And it's local.
What
Claremont.
can you guys think of to ask for questions?
I was gonna ask, you talked about the parade, that's a tradition that's still
Right.
going, and the casino, which isn't because it's gone.
Mhm.
Were there other traditions that you had, or that are
What is
either
that?
going?
Official other traditions, like official traditions.
Yeah,
I mean,
or
there are a lot of
something that, you know,
unofficial
or-
traditions.
Or unofficial, but that,
I mean, well, on Blodgett Landing Day, there were swimming contests and diving contests. With trophies, and I had a lot of third place trophies in my house because there were 3 girls my age and I was the slowest. But I got 1 year there were 4 and I still was third, so that was good.
Oh.
Janie Smithers was number 1, and Nancy Sheese was number 2, and I'd be number 3. And then appallingly, there was a beauty contest with 2 ages, the older kids and the younger kids, and we had these sashes with you had to pick a state, and you'd be there parading around in your bathing suit, and there were a lot of repeat winners among the teenagers, and that was, in retrospect, of course, pretty appalling. And some of the presidents of the COA got into fights with each other, and for
Oh,
years
that was
we found
unfortunate.
coins under the public dock because somebody had gotten into some huge 2 middle-aged men had gotten into some huge fight, and all the change had come out of their pockets. But so Blodgett Landing Day was sort of a bigger deal with wider participation. Now I think it's pretty limited. But it was great. We looked forward to it all summer. Yeah.
Barbara, how about you? Were there some traditions when you were young that are no longer going on in Blodgett?
Nothing more than that. That
Okay.
was the height of Blodgett Landing really coming to life and doing things together.
Did you even have Blodgett Landing Day when you were a kid? I don't
No,
think so. It was
no,
it
we
was not
didn't
till I
have
was a
it.
kid. Yeah. So it was a later tradition.
When she was a child, that was
the big
when
thing.
Blodgett Landing was really
At its
blooming.
heyday, I think.
Yes.
50s and 60s.
And,
I mean, a
and,
different way than during the spiritual.
and by then we were swimming at the big dock,
all the time.
and it was different.
Fishing.
Did you have swimming lessons?
Well, we had them in Blodgett Landing for a year or 2. There was a guy named Bob and a guy named John, and then we had them at Dewey Beach, and then we had them 1 year at Little Lake Sunapee. So they only had them for about 2 years at
No.
Blodgett Landing.
But my sister and I, what's his name, George Draper,
Whoa.
was giving lessons, and my sister got the tennis lessons, and we got swimming lessons. But
In Blodgett Landing?
in Blodgett Landing, but my mother would say, "You don't have to put your face in the water, dear. You don't have to do all that. You can stay afloat." So,
You never really learned to swim very well.
well, I'm still doing the strokes that they taught us, which are
My mother,
Yeah.
my mother still gets in the lake. Right now she can't because the ladder. There's not enough water and the ladder is too high. But she was swimming this summer.
That's wonderful.
Swimming.
Yeah.
And it was hilarious because we were all great swimmers. And when we were little kids, you and my aunt used to insist on coming down to the dock with us before we swam, which we thought was a hoot because what were they going to do? We were great swimmers and they barely knew how to swim. Oh, and also, just going back to the DiGilio's, one of our big outings would be to go up to DiGilio's farm. It was a huge outing, and feed apples to the cows, and
Yes.
and hang out there. That was really.
yes.
And then when I was a teenager, my favorite place in the world was the graveyard up there. I still love it. All the stones are gone. I don't know if you've been there lately. There's hardly any left. They all fell off, so it's just empty practically.
Yeah.
It
It's
used to
just
be
a little
full.
bit of a graveyard.
Yeah, but we love that place. Mrs. Bowles was still alive when we were kids.
Yeah.
Of Bowles Road. I remember her. And
And her driver.
oh, I didn't remember that. Yeah.
Do you interact with her at all, or?
No, I just remember what she looked
Yeah.
like. This is almost 70 years ago, 65 maybe. Yeah.
So
But it
many
was different.
years.
Yeah.
So many years.
But it is true that either you love. I think the people who spend a lot of time at Blodgett have a very special feeling because you would never. I don't think you'd pick it if you said, "Where can I live on the lake that's cool?" You probably wouldn't pick Blodgett Landing as your first choice. All the houses are scrunched
very
together and everything, and but it's unique.
If you've got nice neighbors, it's wonderful. If you've
Right.
got a bad neighbor, well.
And we do
then
have nice neighbors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
We
have
have
really
very
nice.
But
nice
partly that's because you're such nice neighbors.
Oh, very sweet of you to say
No,
so. It's
but
true.
there are people who, go on family year after year
Yeah.
after year. And I see some of them coming back. They haven't been around lately, but you hear the name again.
Right. Well, we're in our 6th generation.
Oh,
Six.
Yeah.
yeah.
In Blodgett Landing. That's a lot.
That's incredible.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Barbara, what year was it that your grandmother bought that house?
Oh, we've tried to figure this out.
Oh
Roughly.
God, I must have been about 10.
Or less. So in the sometime in the
In the
mid 30s,
30s.
maybe. Yeah, it was in the
Yeah.
sometime in the 1930s. Before that, didn't you go to Sleepy Hollow a couple years?
Yes, we did go to Sleepy Hollow.
It's
which
on the
is-
way to Sunapee. It's
Yeah.
and that's where you met the Tallaricos
Yes.
Oh,
when they were teenagers.
The parents?
The band.
Yeah. You mean Steve's parents? And yes, Steve's. I took piano lessons from Steve's dad.
Well, Ernie
and
lived
Ernie tuned our
on
pianos
Long Island
for a
near
zillion
us,
years
and
in New
he
York
used to
and
come
here.
and tune
Yeah.
our piano, and
Victor
then
was
he
the
would.
best piano
We had
teacher
an
I
old
ever had.
piano here too,
Yeah.
and he would come and tune it.
He used to play for the up at the extended care when my mother was
Sure.
there. And oh, she just loved it.
He was a great pianist and a
Oh, he
great
was.
teacher.
He was.
The last time I took piano lessons from him, I was quite a bit older. I was about 18, and we said, "Oh, what's Stevie doing?" And he said, "Oh, he started some new band in Boston called Aerosmith." And I'm like, "Aerosmith?" He said, "No, Aerosmith." But we remember him playing in the Barn Playhouse as he was the drummer, and he had a group called The Strangers, TheeStrangeurs. And this is in the 60s. And we knew him because we knew his family, and you know, he was the drummer for this little band that played in New London.
That's a
far?
good story.
Yeah, how far he's come.
His father didn't really approve of him, but his mother was
Wait, are you talking
right
about?
in there.
Are you talking about Victor and
Victor
and his wife?
yeah, and then the two brothers
Sue.
used to play all around the lake.
Yeah, Ernie
Yes.
played saxophone. He was hilarious. Really.
He and his brother was so different.
Yeah, like night and day. Anyway, so that was fun to know them,
And we used to pick blueberries every year at Bartlett's.
and before that at Traurico, at the
Yeah, but
Traurico's place, they had
weren't
blueberries.
as, they weren't as good.
Yeah.
But my mother would bake 2 blueberry pies every weekend and put them in the freezer. And my husband would come up, and when he would leave, he would take them back to Forest Hills with him. And then my mother would bake apple pies and other things. But the blueberry picking was very important, and early picking too.
Yeah.
And my mother used to wander off, say, "Oh, there are some bigger ones over there." And Mr. Bartlett would come waving his hand saying, "No, you don't." It was fun.
It's fun.
And nobody will go with me.
Blueberry picking?
You were invited to go by Marissa invited you to go, but you
Oh,
said
yeah.
it's gonna be tough.
I go every week to Bartlett's.
You bring my mom.
Sure.
She was offered, but she didn't.
Well,
It'd be
not
tough
much.
now.
Not now, no.
Yeah.
But everybody who comes to Blodgett Landing says, "This is my favorite place."
I mean, in our family, yeah.
How much did you interact with the rest of Newbury, or was it all Blodgett?
Blodgett's. We knew your family, but we didn't know anybody in
We
Newbury.
didn't
did
know
we?
too many of our neighbors because we were busy in the house.
No, but I'm saying she's asking whether we knew anyone in Newbury rather as opposed to Blodgett Landing, and I think the answer is pretty much no.
Where did you grocery shop when you were up here for the summer?
Crescentes.
Okay.
In,
And I used to get my
Speaking
hair cut
Henry.
once or twice a week at
no, not a
what's her
week.
name? A year.
Summer. Where?
A summer. What was her name? She was over the store there.
In over Crescentes? Oh no,
No.
you still get your hair cut in Newbury.
I still get my
At
hair cut
Meg's.
by
Meg.
her.
No,
Yeah.
Meg's at Meg's, yeah.
at Meg's.
But we never went to Newbury for much. I mean,
No.
Probably you got gas here on the wind.
maybe, but we shopped at Crescentes.
Yeah.
So,
I love that store.
which was not where it is now. It was over across, where Hubert, I don't know, somewhere else. And
Yeah.
and my cousin worked as a bag boy there, and Frank made him cut his hair. And
Were there any restaurants or any?
in Blodgett Landing,
Or
Or-
around?
we never ate out.
Never
Well,
really ate out? Yeah.
one
We didn't eat out very
one time.
much.
So there was this myth in our family. This is pretty cute, actually, where we used to, get 5 cents back for a can or whatever. And so we had a huge jar, when we were still in the shack, we had a huge jar of change. And the myth was, which I believe was at the end of every summer, we would have lunch at the Woodbine Cottage.
Oh,
And the kids believed that jar of change
Paid for your.
paid for the lunch, which obviously it couldn't have. And it was this huge occasion. We had to dress up.
Yeah.
So we went out once a summer
yes.
to the Anchorage. We'd get ice cream cones at Al's for 10 cents. You could go to Al's store in Blodgett Landing and get a scoop on a cake cone. And we did that pretty often.
Yeah.
I remember my mother sending me over with 17 cents to buy a quart of milk when I was like 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were so independent. The kids, it was so, it's a little enclosed place.
Freedom.
Yep.
And our entertainment when the children were little, when
We played Michigan rummy with kidney beans. Right.
with lima beans. Yeah.
Here's one time we almost got into trouble. One summer when we were young teenagers, this is pretty funny. There was a rumor that the Hells Angels were coming to Blodgett Landing, and my cousin, who was my age, had a walkie-talkie, and there was a policeman who lived there named Mr. Fontana. Did you know him?
No, I didn't.
This is a long time ago, and we were skulking around Blodgett Landing, and we heard Mr. Fontana saying, "There's a kid with a walkie-talkie." That was, and of course they went to Laconia or someplace. But I remember everybody was we weren't nervous, but the grown-ups were nervous that Hell's Angels were coming. And these are the days before social media, so I don't know how this thing happened. But now there is a Blodgett Landing Facebook page, but I'm not on Facebook. But my cousin Gary is on Facebook, and my son-in-law is on the Blodgett Landing Facebook page, and it's very active. And the other day, my cousin showed me pictures of the wreck that someone took recently, and there's a lot of people sort of in my contemporaries who talk about remember blah blah blah, remember this, and
Yeah.
I'm not on Facebook, so I don't see it. But if you guys are, you've probably examined it, and that's sort of fun. Yeah. Anyway.
You see, the kids were the important thing.
Yeah.
We still
Yeah.
are.
They
And
still
when it's
are.
family, you never run out of things to do.
Well,
with being
I'm just hoping
What?
that after I'm gone, the children will. But of course, they're scattered now.
Yeah.
They're all over the country, and it's a big deal to get over here.
No, but we
And-
just moved closer. We lived in New Jersey for 38 years. My husband and I just moved to Cambridge. So we're only 2 hours away now, which is great.
Oh,
So we're closer.
nice.
Yeah. And my son in Massachusetts is only a couple hours away, and he has a little kid. And so my family, my daughter's in Brooklyn, but she and her husband bring 6 friends up for a week every summer, and they do all the cooking. And so, it's still a gathering place for the family. And this summer, everyone came to celebrate my mother's 100th birthday.
Yes.
We had about 4 parties, and it's still happening. We're having more
Yeah,
this week
it's
and next
still
week.
happening.
So it's just sort of a one big 100 birthday fest all summer
summer.
long.
Yeah.
Why not?
Well, that's right. Why not? That's special.
Yeah, it is special.
Well, I think that family is the most important thing.
Of course.
Nancy, did your kids spend whole summers here, or were you in the more of a weekend
My
mode?
daughter was here for a lot of each summer. She did volunteer work for LSPA as a teenager, and
Well, one year, my grandson Emmett, who lives in Conway,
right,
which is up there,
Massachusetts.
was working at
The Hay Estate,
the Hay
moving
Estate
rocks around. That's
with
right.
a bunch of old ladies. They must have been 40. Yeah, I mean their ages might have been
no.
40.
Yeah,
And he was a big, strong, husky boy, so he worked there.
Yeah,
most
my
of the
daughter.
summer.
My daughter spent. It's funny. It's sort of luck of the draw because Emmett had friends his age, but his older sister didn't. My daughter had friends her age, but my son didn't.
Okay.
So, so she came up for a lot of times without us.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, and for a couple of winters, we kept the house open all winter.
Or opened it up
My-
again and
My
went skiing
husband discovered skiing.
at a
So
late age.
if we read in the New York paper that it had snowed in New Hampshire, we went.
We also spent all our Thanksgivings there until Daddy got sick. So until
Yeah.
the mid-'80s, we spent
Yeah.
all our Thanksgivings there, which was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now we don't open it in the winter.
It
Yeah.
was very nice.
Did either of you have summer jobs when you were here?
No,
No.
Appallingly.
no,
No.
Well, is that true?
no.
I think that's true. Gary worked at Crescenti's once. No, we were free and lazy. Yeah, yeah. Now that I think about it, until we were like 15. I mean,
Okay.
and then we wouldn't spend all summer here, and we started doing other things, volunteer work and stuff like that. But until we were about 14, and Gary and I didn't go to camp. Sheila went. My sister and her and my cousin's brother went to camp for a couple years. But Gary and I didn't want to go. We didn't go. We
No.
explored everything. We owned the
No.
woods
We
between the boat
tried
ramp and the
camp
casino.
one summer, my sister and I, and we hated it
Yeah.
because there was a certain hour for everything. And swimming, for example, you were in the water, or you had to have a partner and raise their hand when they blew a whistle, and then you had to get out of the water, and
Yeah.
we weren't used to that.
We were
And we had to get out of our wet bathing suits right away. It was
right.
crazy.
I mean, I used to when I was a teenager or even younger, I'd spend all day at the public dock, coated in baby oil and getting blistering sunburns, and we spent all day at the public dock.
We started going to Dewey Beach. My sister and I had one child each, and we had an aunt who was our age, who lived in Claremont, and we would bring 2 playpens and put the babies in the playpens, and it was so much easier that way.
Yeah.
Oh,
But why go to camp when you had everything right? And the
absolutely,
freedom to enjoy
absolutely. And I think
were
they,
spoiled.
they did just as well, and they were happier because they had a lot of freedom.
Yeah.
I remember as we were children playing in the woods right next to the casino.
Yeah, we owned those woods.
Yeah.
Yeah, we played that. We were there all the time. We knew everything. And also, where the flower farm is now, there was a farmer that had a donkey and a horse, Jackie and Tiny. And the most iconic family photo that we have is of the 4 kids, my sister and the 2 cousins, sitting on the fence with the horse's head over us and the donkey in the background. We went there almost every day, and the donkey would
Absolutely.
bray. And that was a huge activity. We loved that. We loved that, yeah.
Well, that's fun. You were from
Super
the city,
fun.
and
Exactly. I hated going back to the city at the end of the summer.
Yeah, my girls especially hate the city.
I live in a city now, though.
I know.
My sister hates the city.
Sister
I don't hate the
hates it.
city.
you live right in Cambridge.
Yeah, right in the middle. Love
No,
it.
we lived on Long Island.
No, she's saying, where do I live now? Where do I live now? I moved
Yeah.
to a city. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great. I walk everywhere. I drive my car 2 miles a week. We were just home for a couple weeks. I drove my car. I didn't drive my car for 9 days. That's a different thing.
Was it the other day that I pointed out the old hospital to you?
Yes, in New London. Did you know about that? Right on Main Street, there's
Oh,
some
yeah.
building. I didn't know. My mother said that was the old hospital. I didn't know that.
Absolutely.
Where's
Yeah.
that?
Right on Main Street.
Well, it's now apartments, I believe.
Yeah.
It's right near the farm stand.
Okay.
Yeah.
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 I never knew that.
I never knew that either.
Well, I've come a long way, but I can't imagine why they're not doing babies anymore.
Yeah.
We
They're
used
not
to take
delivering babies anymore.
people in to just look at the nursery and the little
A
babies
lot of
there.
hospitals have stopped doing babies
Oh, I
for
didn't
liability.
realize that.
Yeah. There's a lot of maternity deserts in New Hampshire. The closest things are Concord or Hanover, but yeah, you can't have a baby in New London anymore. I'm in a hospital.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think if you want to have a baby, you have to go to Concord.
Or Hanover.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't realize why they've enlarged the maternity department in Concord, and I didn't realize that
Yeah.
must be why.
Because all the people around here can't go. You look so great. I just love it. And I hear you still have the shop open sometimes.
Oh, yeah, convenience or appointment.
Yeah.
I can't close it because I fill the tanks for the dock and builders.
Oh, I
And
see.
if I didn't, They would have to go clear to Winnipesaukee.
Oh wow!
For tank.
So she fills tanks, and they'd have to go to Winnipesaukee to get air in their tanks.
So I really would like to be rid of the shop,
But you
but
can't.
I can't just close it up.
Can you
And
pass it on to somebody?
none of the family.
No.
I
I'm
mean,
working
but-
with Terrico in the lab tomorrow morning, so
she
Yeah.
helps me,
Yeah.
and she did quite a lot of diving for me
oh, I know.
until maybe last year. I just
Yeah.
decided she's so busy. I can't.
She's
ask
so
her.
busy. I'm on the board of the Lake Sunapee Protective Association,
Yeah,
so I
things
do a
have
lot of
changed a little.
things for them.
And she volunteers. She's the very best volunteer that Terrico has.
Well, they don't have very many, but I really love it.
She really appreciates
Well,
you.
Nancy had a science background in college,
Yeah.
And
so
back
she
to
knows a
school.
lot of. She's also a lawyer.
Not anymore.
So she's very useful, and she takes her position very seriously.
Yeah.
And
That's why
Terrico's the best.
so
And then my son is in Rhode Island now,
Oh.
Wayne Jr., because his son settled down there,
Mhm.
and so they moved from Massachusetts to Rhode Island, and that's further away, but you can't
Yeah.
blame him for wanting to be nearer.
No, that's why we
Son.
moved. We're still not. I mean, we moved because we have one grandchild and maybe the only one we have.
Yeah.
Instead of 3.5 hours, we're now like 1.5 hours. It makes a big difference.
It does.
That's why that was sort of the spur for the move. Hmm
yeah, so
And we're close.
Was there anybody in Blodgett's that left a special impression on you? Any character or person?
well, I had a friend on down the road there, Jack Adams. Did you know
No, but
Jack?
he was in Newbury, and that was not when you were a child. That was when you were
No,
90.
that was yeah.
Oh, well, that's
Clarence
okay.
Perry.
wow.
He was a character. Remember him?
Yes, I do.
He lived in the house right on the corner of 103. He was a real
Yeah.
character.
Well, that wasn't that kind of good impression.
You mean
yeah.
a good impression?
No,
Any kind
no,
of
but we have
yeah.
a neighbor now. What is his name?
Who?
Who was the historian?
Well,
for-
John Greenwood.
Oh, yes.
He's fantastic.
yes.
If you talk,
Yes.
he's a treasure trove.
Will he do an interview?
Well, I haven't contacted him yet, but he's on our list of people we can talk
I mean,
to.
the
But
thing
we're
is-
not trying to get history as much as people's own
Subjective
memories
and- right.
and stories.
Yeah, we went to a presentation he gave at the nursing home in New London last year, with photos and stuff, and he's got a website. I mean, he has everything.
And
He knows-
pictures.
He
and
knows everything about. Yeah, you can turn that off.
Well,
Yeah.
before we turn it off, can we say the date and who the interviewer is? Because we didn't say that.
Oh, I didn't say the date. This is September 30th, and we are in the Newbury Library doing the interview. What else did I forget?
You, who are you?
Didn't I introduce myself? I thought
I don't think you did, Judy.
Oh, I'm Judy LaPorte, and I'm doing the interview, and I appreciate you ladies.
We've known
coming
Judy
very
for
much.
many, 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 many years.
Many years.
Yeah.
Boy, did I hate to give up your daughter.
I like to think that the winter people, that the people who live there all year, manage to get together a bit. I think they do, because there are more people living here all year round.
Yeah.
There's
And,
so many now. You can turn that off.